Hey everyone, it's Joe Waxman, and I'm back with another mini reading. This morning, I would like to look at the chart of Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. What a fascinating name. I mean, that's got to be at least as fascinating as his music. Some people like his music more than his name. I'm partial to his name. Joking. All right, share the screen. How would you like to be named? Wolfgang, a gang of wolves, and then Amadeus. Amadeus, that's cool. Mozart. All righty. Mozart. Okay. Don't know a ton about Mozart. I listened to him, a bunch of times back in the day. I was into classical music for a while. Don't really listen to music much anymore. I'm just not interested in music, which is a weird thing to say. Like most people are like, what kind of music you like? I don't really like any music. I don't listen to music these days. Anyway, Mozart was a child prodigy. I mean, he was like the definition of child prodigy. He was like performing at age 5. That's too young to perform anything, but he did it. He was performing at age 5. So let's look at his chart. Okay. 27th of January, 1756. That's a long time ago. 8 p.m. Salzburg, Austria. A lot of musicians come from that area, Germany, Austria, things like that. Classical musicians, for some reason. Really interesting. Okay. Aquarius Sun, conjunct Mercury, very tightly conjunct. That's almost Cazimi, what we would call Cazimi, but not. It's not Cazimi, but it's all. Cazimi is when it's at the heart of the sun. It's within 17 minutes of the sun's complete conjunction, and that's supposed to give the planet special powers. Otherwise, the planet is considered combust, where it's burned by the sun. The significance is burned by the sun. But in my experience, it doesn't really, there's some issues with being too close to the sun where there is burnout. But a lot of times, like the sun really takes on the qualities of that planet, and it's fused with those planets. So like here, he's becoming very intellectual, right? Because Mercury's there. His mind is always going, and he's taking on very mercurial qualities. Active mind, always thinking. Sun conjunct Mercury are intellectuals, high intellectuals, right? I have Sun conjunct Venus, so it's more like really good, really nice for the personality. Sun conjunct Venus people are just very like charming and people pleasers. It can weaken the sun because of that if there's no other strong aspects, but that's another story. Sun conjunct Mercury, so they're very smart, very intellectual. In Aquarius, really good for the intellect, inventive, intellectually creative because of that originality of Aquarius, always thinking about new things, new ideas. And let's see, in the 5th house, but really it's pushing into the 6th house. And we know that he did die young. He died at age 35 of an unknown illness, and that's probably more related to his Venus. But Sun is quite good in the 6th house. 5th house, really great for creativity, but let's say 6th house, great for creativity on the analytical side of things, like being able to really pick apart the creativity and put it in the right order and like enhance the creativity, enhance the creative aspect. Sun is ruling the 12th house. 12th house is excellent for creativity. In Leo, 12th house Leo, Sun is the significator of creativity along with Leo, 5th house, 12th house. Neptune in Leo on the 12th house cusp, again, fantastic for creativity, opposite the sun and Mercury. I have Sun opposite Neptune, excellent for creativity. Creates a bit of delusion, especially in relationships, potential. Like you can really be deluded about like whoever you're attracted to or other people in general. People can take advantage of you very easily. You attract Neptunian types, which are artistic, creative, perhaps drugs and alcohol addicted, or dishonest sometimes, but excellent for creativity. right? And he was, I mean, he was a creative genius. I mean, that's really what he's known for. He's not, you know, he might have had some delusional relationships or easily fooled or, you know, by other people. But sixth house is really good for having that critical mind, you know, being this is where a lot of times where you'll see lawyers, right, in the sixth house, because they're dealing with conflicts, they're dealing with conflict resolution, fighting others, winning over others, you know, all that. Also health, sickness, mundane activity, working hard, and daily routine. You know, so if arts come in here, it can benefit first in the way that they're going to be practicing daily. It's going to be part of their daily routine, whatever it is, like writing music, playing piano, doing all the artistic, creative stuff every single day, and that makes them really, really good at it, right? And also that ability to be critical, that ability to have that Virgo analytical mind, where you can really pick things apart in detailed way, and edit excellent editing skills. You know, Venus is here. That's probably not, you know, it's almost exalted in Pisces, but it's at the 29th degree, and that's probably why he died young. Honestly, this is not a fantastic placement for Venus. We're not super happy in the sixth house, because it's Virgo's house originally. So I'm jumping around here. I usually go Sun, Moon, Ascendant, but I thought I'd bring this in, and let's put that on hold for now. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so Saturn's in Aquarius, so fifth lord Saturn in the fifth house, excellent for creativity. Saturn, you would think this would block creativity, but I think, well, because okay, it's in its own domicile, in its own house of rulership, quadrant house. Saturn does co-rule Aquarius, so it's at home here. And the sun is here, and the sun is the significator, is the original creative force, because sun rules all life on earth, and life is the essence of creativity, right? You know, sun, fifth house, 12th house, Leo, Pisces, Neptune, right? These are all the creative. So, and we know he was a childhood prodigy, like he was arts and creativity, playing piano, things like that. He was just gifted right from birth. So obviously Saturn, Capricorn, is not holding him back. And Saturn, the benefit of Saturn is that it endures, it makes it last long. And he was incredibly prolific for a short life, 35 years. I mean, some people don't even discover themselves by 35 years of age. And he was already, like, you know, world renowned, like composed tons and tons and tons of music, right? Massive talent. Moon is conjunct Pluto, almost exact. You can see here, 1748, 1746. Super tight conjunction of Pluto Moon. Now, Pluto Moon is not an easy combination. That's a very, very difficult combination. But Pluto can make the moon psychic. It can make the moon incredibly powerful and deep natured. So for creative purposes, you know, moon does very well in the fourth house. It's very happy here. It's very creative here. So I think it can withstand this Pluto, obviously. And Pluto is bringing in tremendous depth, tremendous. Also, there's creative potential within Pluto, not as much as like Neptune, or, I mean, the creativity is deep, and it's like, it's not constant, because Pluto can destroy before it creates. But ultimately, Pluto does have a very creative side to it. It's in that rebirth, death and rebirth. That's what Pluto rules. In that rebirth, we have the creative aspect of Pluto. And Moon is naturally creative, right? It rules the femininity, it rules the night, it rules the pregnancy of woman, you know, the fertility of woman, of mother, right? It's the significator of mother. And it is, it's in a good place, like I said, fourth house. So this is a deeply powerful and creative moon, potentially psychic. And I think because of the tight aspect, it's really empowering his creative aspect, because Pluto is obsessive. It just has this obsessive quality, this obsessive focus quality. He's making his moon, his creative side, like just very, very deep and obsessive, and powerful. And it's ruling, Pluto's the co-ruler of Scorpio, so it's ruling the third house, bringing his skills and talents and intellect into early childhood. Moon and the fourth house both rule early childhood. So, right, skills from early childhood, playing the piano at 5 years old, right? Also, we see that the co-ruler of Scorpio, Mars, is in the 10th house. So again, career. So skills of the hands, intellect, artistic skills in a career house. We know that. That's very accurate. We'll get back to this Mars because it's a very strange Mars. Some unusual things about his Mars. What else? So this is a very powerful moon. Potentially, well, I don't know if he was mentally disturbed. He probably was, but again, it probably, inspired his music even more, because he was incredibly prolific. And I think that a lot of that was two things. It was Sun conjunct Mercury, Pluto conjunct Moon, making his mind and his inner mind just like incredibly deeply active. Like Pluto's obsessive, Mercury's constantly spinning, so that just the creativity was just nonstop. And there's some other things that were going on there, which we'll get to. Disposited by Jupiter in the second house, Libra. So this is great for wealth and great for career success, because wealth is coming from somewhere. Sometimes people with Jupiter in the second are just lucky, like they just inherit a lot of money. But we know that he was just very successful from a young age. Jupiter in the second is great for self-worth, self-value. Somebody has really good self-esteem with Jupiter in the second. They think highly of themselves, because Jupiter is the great benefic. Second house is the house of wealth and worth and values, family, knowledge, assets. So he had a wealth of those things with Jupiter there. It was a great benefic. Let's see. Okay, Virgo ascendant conjunct North Node. That's also very, very, the closer the ascendant is to the North Node. Mine's like under 9 degrees. Depends which node you use, mean or true. But mine's within 10 degrees. But it's like exact, basically, between the true node and the mean node. And the reason I use both is because I'm not sure which one is more accurate. I used to think true node, but since I've listened to other people who make a case for mean node, so now I just look at them both to see which seems more accurate. It's kind of a long-term study. I'm just going to use both from now on, just to see which one seems more accurate. But the ascendant is right in between the true and the mean node. So it's like exactly conjunct, let's just say that. Exactly conjunct the node. And that shows, a lot of times that can show a certain destiny, because the nodes are really, really, really strong in telling about things that are destined. Destined from early childhood, destined at a certain point in our life, or destined for our future, the trajectory of our life. So here the ascendant conjunct the node shows a very strongly destined life. I mean, that's kind of weird. That's like saying a karmic life. So let me qualify that. It doesn't really say much. All of our lives are destined. We all are living our destiny, right? But this shows a special destiny, like an unusual destiny. If the ascendant is conjunct the North Node, it's a very unusual, special destiny that is not normal, right? True, okay? True, Mozart. Definitely not a normal life. Incredibly special karmic life. Not just a karmic life, because we all have karmic life, we all have destined life, a special karmic life. That's why he's famous. Okay. South node, exactly conjunct descendant, well, it'd have to be, but also conjunct Uranus. And here, that's why he was so brilliant, right? South node in Pisces, conjunct Uranus. So Pisces is the sign of deep creativity, spirituality, delusion, illusion, fantasy, right? Pisces, Leo, Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, Venus, 5th house, 12th house. Those are all the creative indicators, really creative. So Pisces, Uranus is brilliance. Uranus is that flash of lightning that explodes. And if it goes off in your mind, like a flash of lightning in your mind, it's like enlightenment, awakening. This is called the Great Awakener, Uranus, because it just opens your mind to brilliance. Conjunct the South node is a fantastically brilliant combination. In Pisces, brilliant creativity, right? Just like the mind going off with creative. And this is like, you know, somebody who's just like completely awake to their creativity. And he was like pulling in like fully composed pieces from the nether world, from the ether, from the heavens, just like downloads of creativity, of musical brilliance and genius, downloading from just the sky, just downloading. Like he was hooked up to the Akashic records of musical genius, brilliance, pouring into his brain like that. I mean, that's why if you have something like this, especially on the first, seventh, the ascendant, descendant, or on one of the cardinal axes, these are the four cardinal axes, the MC, IC, AC, DC. Yeah, very, very powerful. If you want to know why he was so brilliant, it's not just that he was like, you know, had these ties to the creativity and all that. It's that South node conjunct Uranus, conjunct descendant, North node conjunct ascendant. In Pisces, Virgo, that's the creative axis. That's the most powerful creative axis, Pisces, Virgo. Pisces creates it, Virgo edits it. Virgo's has the critical eye that can really spot the things that work and the things that don't work. That's Virgo's role in the creative part, creativity. Pisces is pulling stuff from the ether, from the subconscious. Right? Okay. Sun conjunct Mercury is trine the MC. That's also very important. And Mercury is ruling ascendant and MC for career. That's excellent. You want to have strong connections to the MC for career. Mars ruling the 3rd house cusp and the 8th house cusp in the 10th house in Cancer. This Mars is very unusual because it's at 0 degrees, debilitated in Cancer, retrograde. Not only that, check this out. Out of bounds. Okay, he has no stationary planets, but Mars is way out of bounds. 27 degrees, 11 minutes. Out of bounds is 23 degrees some. I always forget the minutes. I always have to look it up and then I forget. It's because Jupiter is conjunct my Mercury, not super tight, but still makes me forget about details. You know, ruins the detail. Jupiter will ruin the details, but it makes great sense of humor. Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus too, depending on this planet, depending on the signs. Mars, so yeah, Mars is 0 degrees, debilitated in Cancer, retrograde, way out of bounds, but it's in the 10th house. So Mars does great in the 10th house, but it's like, so this is such a wonky Mars that it makes me think like, it's probably like, you know, when absurdity reaches the extreme, it it changes to its opposite. And this is like the most absurd Mars you could have. Well, not the most, because I mean it's stronger than 10th house, but debilitated, 0 degrees, and retrograde. So it's like and out of bounds. Sorry. So I can't help but think it's like adding to things. Like I don't know how, but like there's something like 0 degrees means it's just going like it doesn't know its own limitations. It's like a baby. It's just like going to extremes of its own nature. So that's 0 degrees. Out of bounds means it's just not following any sort of rules, like within society, within convention. It's a very unconventional Mars. It's going to way extremes, and debilitated means that it's just not acting in strength. It's acting in its strength. It's acting. Mars in Cancer is too emotional. Mars is the warrior, right? So here you have an emotional, like, can you imagine like somebody like a soldier on the battlefield crying and, acting like, overly emotional? That probably happens more often than not, or sometimes at least, but it's not that's not like the ideal. You don't want that. You don't want an emotional Mars. But it is aspecting the 5th house. Oh, no, sorry. Well, the 5th, okay. No, it's aspecting Capricorn, the 5th sign, sorry, 0 degrees. Anyway, it's a very curious Mars, and it makes me think that there's something more to this Mars than I fully understand face value, because of how unusual it is. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. Let's see. This is an excellent Neptune, like I said, opposite the Sun. This Venus is not great, and you'd think for a musician that Venus would be, really strong. But the sign is okay. Sign is neutral, but 6th house is not great. I mean, it's not terrible Venus, but 6th house Venus will show probably, it's definitely not a great place for Venus. Venus is ruling 9th house and 2nd house. So yeah, interesting. I don't know enough about his life to comment really on that. This would indicate like something about his belief system, religion, philosophy, luck. He died at age 35, but anyway, definitely negatively impacting his health. Malefics do well in the 6th house, Mars, Saturn, probably Pluto, Sun, what else? I mean, that's pretty much it. It's kind of an interesting chart. The Pluto moon is somewhat square, the nodes, not very tight, but Pluto square the nodes makes me think, especially conjunct the moon and the 4th house, could relate to early demise, because Pluto's the planet of death and moon's a very personal planet. Sun's our vitality, but moon is our heart, our emotions, our inner, our inner minds. And squares to the nodes show some kind of destiny that we're going to live out at a certain point in our life. So it could be positive or negative. It really just depends on the placement. Pluto in the 4th house is not very good, conjunct the moon for mental emotional health, but that's not how he died. He died from some unknown fever, some unknown illness, bacterial or viral. They didn't really know. And that could be Pluto as well, something hidden, something unseen. Well, that's definitely outer planets influence. Also, South Node conjunct Uranus ruling the sixth house. Uranus is the co-ruler of the sixth house. Sixth house is the house of health. South Node will show early, past and detachment. So because it's ruling the sixth house, it's not great. It's one of the difficulty. And South Node is detachment and lets go at a certain point, especially as we get older. So 35, South Node's already declining. Pisces is also mysterious illness, potentially like things unseen, viral, bacterial, things like that. Anyway, it's quite possible. Neptune opposite the sun, again, similar thing. That's about all I can say about this chart. It's very interesting, very fascinating. I think this is the most telling symbol sign of Mozart's genius. South Node conjunct Uranus in Pisces on the descendant, and plus the creative aspects of the sun and the moon. Those are really strong too. North Node on the ascendant, Neptune opposite the sun, and Leo on the 12th house. But yeah. So anyway, this is Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And if you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. If you want to book a reading, go to my website, macroastrology.com. And I will be back again very soon. See you. Bye.